In this video, we'll discuss full disk encryption using dmcrypt and LUKS. Mobile devices such as mobile phones, tablets, and laptops, or even USB sticks, have the unfortunate property of being lost or stolen easily. This can be disastrous for a company if a device is lost or stolen while containing sensitive information like intellectual property. According to different statistics, between 40 and 50% of breaches occurred due to stolen laptops or other storage devices. Just because a laptop is password protected, files are not necessarily safe from unauthorized access. Hackers can easily boot the computer from a USB drive and then access all the files on the computer. As I suppose you already know, there are a lot of ways of recovering the root or admin password. HTTPS, SSH, and other encrypted protocols protect data that's in transit across a network, while full disk encryption, also known as data at rest protection, protects data that's at rest on disk. Full disk encryption also differs from file encryption in that the latter only encrypts the individual files you specify for encrypting. Full disk encryption is a cryptographic method that applies encryption to the entire hard drive, including data, files, the operating system, and software programs. In this lecture, I'll show you how to fully encrypt your drive partitions using dmcrypt and LUKS, which is the standard for encrypting disks on Linux. dmcrypt is a feature-rich and very efficient in terms of resource consumption. It can also be configured to encrypt write volumes and LVM physical volumes. dmcrypt is a kernel-level encryption mechanism which offers transparent disk encryption. This means that the files are immediately available without any additional interaction after mounting. I myself, for example, have a very large external hard drive and use it to back up all my professional and personal information. It's encrypted using dmcrypt and LUKS, which is extremely secure, and if I lose it or gets stolen, no one can access my private photos or documents. A common concern surrounding full disk encryption is the fear that the encryption and decryption process will cause a noticeable slowdown of processor speed. It's not the case with new hardware and dmcrypt. dmcrypt and LUKS also offer plausible deniability, which is an important concept when it comes to disk encryption. In short, it means that you can do or have something and nobody can suspect or prove that, if you don't admit it, of course. And then you can deny having or doing that thing if someone wants to accuse you because nobody can prove it. In case of disk encryption, the plausible deniability property means that if you have an encrypted disk, no one can prove that's encrypted. Of course, if you don't admit it. And as a logical consequence, you cannot be forced to decrypt the disk. So we know that dmcrypt is a kernel module used for encryption. But what is LUKS? LUKS is short for Linux Unified Key System and has been invented to standardize key setup. While most disk encryption software implements different incompatible formats, LUKS implements a platform-independent standard on disk format for use in various tools. With LUKS, all information like the master encryption key or headers needed for the encryption are saved on the partition that's encrypted. Okay, this was a short introduction to full disk encryption using dmcrypt and LUKS. Also note that this is a Linux solution. In the following lecture, I'll show you live how to set up an encrypted USB stick. See you in a second.